of the spring.
Awesome.
I think it was disappointing. Last day in pads, last day to really get some good fundamental work, and I thought the guys just weren't too interested in being out there, and it showed. There were some spurts of energy. You know, I'm sure there's a couple guys giving it their all the entire time, but you know, when you just kind of look at the whole picture, it was half-hearted at best. And guys told the guys we're not going to win anything practicing like that. So hopefully, you know, the G-Day game will mean something to them compared to what it meant to them today. But it was a disappointing day.
I noticed.
Nice weather.
I noticed, you know, you guys went to spider drill kind of pretty early in there. It would look like, was this the last chance, besides the G-Day game, before the fall camp to really get after it in theory?
yeah. And we did, you know, we did what we planned to do. You could tell it was almost like they were looking around waiting for me to cancel the practice or something, you know. I just didn't think the effort was that great. If it wasn't for the 4-hour rule and all that kind of stuff, I might have started all over and done it again. But old school coaches used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore.
Coach, the expectations leading into the G-Day game, I talked to Tim Kearley, head of tickets, and he said that, you know, pre-sales are higher than they've ever been. Are you excited to hear about fans having that kind of expectation going into just what is a glorified practice, or do you think maybe they're just get those?
I hope a lot of people show up. That would be fun. You know, the more people at that game, the more exciting it is for our players, and the more it feels like a real game. And I mentioned that to the players after practice, that it'll probably be one of the biggest crowds in a while, and it's certainly going to be on TV. Radio's picking it up, and you know, there'll probably be people here from around the nation that wouldn't normally be here, just because of some of the expectations. And you know, so I said, I hope you play with some heart and some spirit, you know, because we just didn't do it today.
What do you want to see in the G-Day game? Like a low-scoring game or offense going nuts?
You know, if it's a good, crisp practice or game where you don't have a lot of penalties and you don't have a bunch of fumbles and a bunch of, you know, things that ought not happen that time of the year, you know, I'm looking for a good-looking scrimmage. But whether it's a high or low scoring, I think if there's a lot of scoring, I'd be a little concerned. But I think last spring was the most scoring we've had in a long time, and we ended up pretty good. But I just don't, of course, we want everybody to come out of there healthy, number one, and number two, just want it to be a really good-looking performance by everybody.
I'm sorry, Coach.
No, I was just saying not a sloppy one.
What is it, as a coach, what does it mean for you? Is it the final practice? Is it the, you know, big evaluation time? Obviously, it's different for the players.
You know, I like it. I like to, the thing I like about it is you do have an offense and defensive team, or offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball on the same team. You know, on both sidelines, there's Georgia offense and Georgia defensive players together trying to win the scrimmage or the game or whatever you want to call it. Same thing on the other sideline, where everything up to this point is always offense versus defense. So, especially as a head coach, I enjoy when everybody becomes, you know, on the same team, so to speak. You have offensive and defensive coaches on one sideline and an offensive and defensive coach on the other sideline working together to try to win. And I think the guys care about who wins the game. And so I like that. It used to be you would just, you know, you do a draft and you'd let, you know, maybe 2 team captains pick guys back and forth and put your team together, and coaches finally talked me out of that kind of thing a few years ago. But you know, it'll be, you know, while we're here, if you want some ground rules, our extra point field goals we'll kick, but we won't rush them. Our punt and our punts, we will punt, but we won't rush them or return them. We're going to have a net 35 yards after every punt and never inside the 10. So, you know, if you're on the 36-yard line going in, you can't say I'm punting and it's on the 1. So 10-yard line after a punt would be the closest to the end zone it would be. I think we say we'll spot the ball on the 25-yard line and we will not even kick off. As of right this second, I'm thinking 10-minute quarters. Running on a normal clock and the possibility of letting it run free at the end if we feel like we need to. I don't think I've done that yet. I think I've always allowed the clock to run normal. I like it at the end of a half and end of a game, especially if it's close enough to get into some kind of 2-minute offense. And I can't think of anything else.
Well, now as far as evaluation, and I know there's probably situations where you've had guys that maybe hadn't had great spring practice, but they might explode in this game, or guys that have had. So how important is it in terms of evaluation?
I mean, if a guy has a great game, it will get everybody's attention. Because it is in a true game, and it's also going to be the last impression that anybody makes this spring. So it's a big impression.
No guest coaches this year? Or,
Yeah, we'll have some guest coaches. And I want to reiterate, I want to make it clear that they're not actually coaching. Okay, because our compliance might get mad at us. But we want to honor a couple of guys to come back. But we're going to have Greg Blue and Frank Ross and Kevin Butler and DJ Shockley. And I forgot who's on what team. I think it's it might be Frank and Shock, I think. I don't know. It might be Frank and Shockley on the red and blue and Butler on the black, I think. We get to see those guys out there.
Have you seen Michael?
If you say it, we record it, it's official.
It's official, that's right.
You see Michael Lemon take a jump?
Michael's doing very well. Michael is. Most of the DNs have made good improvement, but Michael, I think he's about as quick as I've seen him. He's in good condition. He's just a much better fundamental football player. It's amazing when you become an expert at your position, how much better you can play. If you get low enough, if you get your hands on the guy like you're supposed to, if you get off or you're getting off the line of scrimmage, if you're timing it up and you're quick, it makes all the difference in the world. And the more you practice what you do, you get good at it, the better off you are. And Michael's at the point in his career where he should be getting real good at it, and he is. He is.